Welcome, everyone, to the Learn From Us Investor Academy podcast. I'm laid back today. See how I'm leaning back?
Yeah, I'm leaning back too.
Well, you're always leaning back.
Yeah, you're right.
But the last few podcasts, I've been leaning forward.
I feel like when I watch the video, I
Yeah,
feel like it shows
it's
me.
very stomachy.
Yeah, I feel like I show a gut, and I'm like, I'm pretty in shape. I work out, and I'm like, oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get fan mail here.
Tim shared a cool video with us this week. It was
Yes, he
about
did.
why Gary Vee curses so much. Someone just asked him why he did it. I think a lot of people wonder why. Because it's so polarizing, so different from the rest of the people sort of in the spotlight.
If you're uptight and hate curse words,
I curse a lot, I think.
sure.
Not as much as him.
Yeah, every other word.
You do as well.
I do curse a lot.
But when I'll do an amazing video edit and email it over to Tim, and he just writes, fudge, yeah. So
He writes WTH, and I don't think he means what the hell. I think he means what the heck. So I'm writing WTF, and Tim's writing WTH, and I think he means what the heck. Is that true, Tim?
That's true.
But the video was so liberating because Gary said, listen, I speak this way. This is how I speak. And the interviewer says, even at home, yes. To my children, sure. Why do you do it that way? Well, because my whole life I was told that if I spoke this way, it would alter my future, and it didn't. And so in his mind, it's like the ultimate screw you to all the people that told him otherwise. How did you take that?
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people it's a word. Now, at the same token, if your son, if you said, hey, Gio, go do this. Fuck yeah, Dad, I'm going to do it. I mean, you're going to be like, wait a second, Gio, pump the brakes there. It is just a word, and there is about respect. But at the same token, I feel like people are way too antsy and walking on eggshells about it. And he's right. Now, he's right and he's wrong. He's an outlier of a situation. I've had somebody recently use the F word in an interview with me. I didn't like that very much.
Oh.
Yeah, they did that. I was just kind of like, because I thought to myself, it represented, now to Mary's point, Mother Mary over here, who's holier than all of us.
Sister Mary.
Sister Mary. And what our consultant we have that helps us in the business, he goes, why do you curse so much, Paul? I feel like it gives the emphasis of how much it matters. We have the luxury of doing well. But if I was in a new situation with, like, say, for example, someone who wanted to invest money with us, I wouldn't do that just out of the social aspect. Gary Vee is on a totally different level than all of us in terms of what he's accomplished in his life, right? I mean, he's a brand. He's the social media king. He's all this stuff. He can get away with that a lot, and it's known to be him. But if you just met somebody for the first time,
sure,
and they said something with the F word in it to you, you might be like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. I mean, you might not be offended, but you might be like, well, that's interesting. So I get that. And his take on it might be a little more extreme, and he might have been the extreme that actually worked out. But how many times did it not work out for somebody because they dropped the F word at the wrong time? Like that person who interviewed with me. Granted, I wasn't going to hire her anyway because she was not qualified, but she dropped the F-bomb. And I was kind of like, man, I don't want her representing my company in case somebody someday comes in and she says the F word. So I do understand both sides of it, but it's just a word.
I mean, I typically love to use it in a comedic sense as opposed to a hateful sense. But you're absolutely right. I mean, we pick and choose where we put these words and how we want to be taken in by others and seen,
So yesterday at dinner, Christmas dinner, by the way, I said the F word a few times in reference to a story. But my dad was there. I don't really curse with my dad very much. So I remember as I was doing it, I was like, well, we'll see how this goes over. He didn't say anything. He didn't care. I think I've gotten the age now, though, 37 years old, that maybe he doesn't care as much. But I still think about those things around my father. And even when we cursed around Mary, even before when he said something, he looked at Mary and she went like this. She went.
I gave half an F out, and I was waiting for the response. She gave me the eye just to check in.
I love when you say, bitch, please.
Bitch, please. I know guacamole's extra. Just put it on there.
But the first time you said it to a female. I was like that, but I knew you meant it in jest, and they didn't react poorly. But I was just like, oh boy, I did the Tim. Oh boy. By the way, I love that. That was hilarious. I still love it when you say, bitch, please. Like when you say it to me all the time. You're like, bitch, please.
I think we wanted to title this podcast Chasing the Wrong Dreams.
Chasing the Wrong Dreams.
And then either Lisa or Mary said, well, how can someone, how do you have the right to tell someone they have the wrong dream? So I'm coming at this with, like my usual podcast preparation. I'm coming at this with no preparation at all.
Okay.
And so I'd love to hear your mindset on why you're saying this and what it means.
I love dreams. Dreams are very important. Everybody should have dreams. However, I feel, let's talk about two different things. One is investing and how you have dreams in investing. Another is life. So first with investing, everyone is chasing the, I want to find the next Google. I want to find the next I want to find the next Apple. Those don't happen. Those happen. That's what makes them Google and Apple and Microsoft and Facebook. It's the 1 out of 10,000. But everybody will sit there and say, well, yeah, but if I catch that one, I'm set for life. Yeah, but you have to go invest in how much garbage they go to zero before you find that one. And I always find it funny that in a game like in football, in baseball and basketball, in basketball, if you're shooting 50% from the field, you're gonna be a Hall of Famer. You're gonna have a 16-year-long career. You're gonna be a Hall of Famer, and you're gonna make $300 million in your career. If you shoot 42%, you're probably here or there. You're Carmelo Anthony, which he was great to get. Which Carmelo Anthony's gonna have a long career, but he should not have the career he has based on his stats. It was something else. But when it comes to investing, people are always shooting for these 1 out of 1,000, 1 out of 10,000 chance. And I'm like, just do the singles and doubles, and you will do very, very well. Stop chasing those with big parts of your portfolio. We talk about Amazon with you. Amazon made up what percentage of your portfolio? 35%, something crazy like that. And I was like, dude, you can't. What's that going to become? It's not going to grow 10 times more. Stop doing that. Sell it, put it away, and put the money towards something more safe and secure. Same thing in investing. I believe in chasing dreams, but when it comes to investing, I believe in chase the singles and doubles. You will become extremely wealthy, and you will do very well in life. Just like if every single player got up to bat and they hit a single half the time, you'd win every World Series in the world.
Yeah.
But we always revere home runs. That's what we revere in sports. Like, oh, look how many home runs he had. Look how many home runs he has. Like, no. Barry Bonds. If you ask people right now, what's Barry Bonds well known for? Home runs, right?
Yeah.
He had one of the highest on-base percentages out of anybody, I think, in history. I think he was the highest in history or something ridiculous. He got on base like 48% of the time or something. I don't know the exact stat, but it was some egregious amount of time because he was walked a lot. And that's even more valuable to the team than just hitting a home run. The fact that people were so scared he was going to hit a home run that they walked him all the time and basically gave somebody on base for free.
This is your Moneyball mentality.
Exactly. It's not my Moneyball mentality. It's Billy Beane and Michael Lewis. That's the thing about chasing dreams I don't like. Now talk about life. Talk about sports. If a kid came to me and he was a freshman in high school and said, Paul, I want to become an NBA athlete. Like, that's awesome. What are you going to do to get there? Well, not much.
You believe that's great? That's awesome?
It's awesome. Now, I don't believe in putting everything on the line for that. I don't believe in sacrifice your education and everything just so you can become an NBA athlete. But if you want to put what it takes in to become an NBA athlete, like we talk about Gio, your son.
This is my son, 8-year-old, yeah.
Yeah, and you said he was not playing basketball well at one point, but then he went out and practiced with you, and he was hitting shots, and you're like, listen, you're not going to be the star on the team unless you're doing this practice, right?
Yeah.
That's the dream I want people to chase. I want this, and I'm willing to do what it takes. What do I always say? I hate it when I meet somebody who thinks there's ambition because they want this, but they're willing to do this. You need to get up to here or lower this. And it's not about everybody. I remember in high school and college, every kid wanted to be rich.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to be rich. Who became rich? Very few end up being really rich. Why? Because they didn't do what it took to be that. So I believe in supporting the dreams that somebody's willing to go work after. Hey, you want to be an NBA athlete? Great. You need to shoot 500 shots a day. You need to shoot 100 free throws a day. You need to practice this, and this, and that. And that's going to be on your way. And even then, it's going to be very hard still.
Yeah.
Because how many NBA athletes are duds who were stars in college? Right? I went to Michigan for college. You went to Ohio State for grad school. Those guys are phenomenal athletes, and they don't go pro all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, the star on the Michigan basketball team would be, like last year was Mo Wagner, and this year he rides the bench on the Lakers, right? He scored his first points like in game 25 of the season.
Oh my God, yeah, the Michigan guy.
Yeah.
He's on the bench now?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. He's a rookie. It's his first year.
Sure.
A few years ago when we went to the national title game in 2013, we had a guy named, I even forget his name, Mitch McGary. The guy was awesome. He went to Oklahoma City, like 8th pick or 10th. What pick was he, Tim? Do you remember? You don't remember? Mitch McGary. He was a first-round pick.
Sure.
Didn't amount to anything. I'm not saying that as a criticism. I'm just sitting there saying, hey, these things happen. It's so hard to make it. But if you want to put the work in and you have a backup plan, have any dream you want. But don't come to me with a dream and you're not willing to put the work in. That drives me nuts. Because what we teach here is we teach the Z, right?
Yeah.
We don't teach the A to Y or the B to Y. We teach the Z. Oh, look at Mark Zuckerberg. He dropped out of college, and Bill Gates dropped out of college, and Michael Dell dropped out of college, and look, they became billionaires. Oh, is that simple? You just drop out of college, become a billionaire? No, there's so much more to it. We're only seeing the very end result, not the stuff in between.
You know, I think one of the first times you offered to help me in this world, I don't even know why, because we hardly knew each other, but we went out to like a breakfast, lunch, dinner maybe, and you gave me the B to Y story. And we've mentioned it so many times, but dear God, that just changed so much of my life. Because you always say, you know, people love getting into the A, taking the first step, the step A.
Which is hard enough to do, by the way.
Yeah. It's an accomplishment just to do something.
Yes.
And people love thinking about the why. Wealthy, real estate, big house, fabulous everything, wonderful car, wonderful life. But tell me the B to Y. How did you explain it? Because I just love it.
So first, if you can even take step one, I'm overly impressed, because 95% of people won't even take step one. I mean, that's the biggest shock that happened to me going into the real world. Was in college, I thought to myself, well, we all do well in school. All of us are going to have action. All of us are going to take action. No. How many successful people do you know now who said to you, I want to invest in real estate, I want to do this, and have even pulled the trigger on it?
Yeah.
Right? So that's an issue for me. And the Z is all the glitz and the glamour of, look what happens when Paul's life, look what happens in Mark Zuckerberg's life. All these things are great. It's like, well, yeah, but what's the B to Y? The B to Y are the steps that it takes to actually get there.
Well, you draw it out. You know, you always draw it out. You draw that straight line.
Yep.
With two, you know, the beginning and the end, and then you just start talking about the tick marks.
Because there's 1,000, I always joke and say there's 1,000 steps between here and being whatever goal you want. The first one to get those 1,000 steps done will win. We'll get it. That's it. We have this roadmap. I mean, and yeah, there are juts along the way, but those are going to happen. But I'm so big on get each step done, keep working towards them. There's going to be hurdles, and it's the people who keep persevering and going through that will end up hitting the success. You've only failed once you quit, right? And I hate that. I hate how cliche that is, but it's so freaking true, right?
You've only failed once you quit.
That's it. I mean, by the way, and I don't mean this as a criticism of just everybody. I'm the same way. Is my threshold a lot higher than everybody else? Absolutely. I'm willing to do a lot more than everybody else is willing to do. But at the same point, when I sit at home or I'm on this 4-day weekend and I think to myself, like, what am I screwing up in my life? I watch The Prophet. Great show. I love that show because I think to myself, like, what am I doing wrong in my B to Y process? What steps along the way am I doing even wrong? Because you could have all the steps, but if you're not doing it the right way, that's why I sit there and I hate the Z so much, because everybody just sees the result as opposed to the entire steps along the way. There's so much more to it. There is so much more to everything than just Z. That you have to sit there and tackle every single step along the way. It's the same with investing. Everybody sees the Z of, oh, look at all these results that happen, as opposed to, okay, well, I invested in this, and all the way along the way. I was diversified. I did this. That's what matters. But we never want to do that, because as much as I want instant gratification, it is a problem we do have in this country. And I hate to be cliche by saying that, because it's an overused criticism, but we all want things very quickly, which is fine. I want things very quickly too, but I'm not willing to sacrifice a ton to get those things very quickly. I want to do it very smart and steady and work the process along the way.
All too often, the fear of step F, G, or H will stop me from A.
Why? Let's delve into Seth here.
Here we go again, Mary.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What have I said to you before? Why are you worried about G?
Well, I'm learning.
By the way, we have a guy upstairs who I love, who's a great person for us. And the biggest thing I have to work with him is, why are you worried about step 10? You need to know what steps along the way matter, but all you need to worry about is one step. You played football in college. What was the most important play?
The one we're on.
The one you're on. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the last play of the game is going to be. It has no relevance right now. What matters is, can you run the best play right now that is needed right now? It will lead you to the successful play later.
I come from an over-worrying family, I think.
Well,
have you met my mom?
I've never met your mom.
She's lovely.
Yes.
She's a ton of fun. My kids love her, but she is a massive over worrier.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell an over worrier that worrying doesn't help you. But
do you want to hear a secret? I'm a massive worrier. It's my biggest issue. But I've used that as a positive to get more things done. Going, if I worry about this one, what steps can I take along the way to make sure that is not a worry later?
My mom locks the door to get mail. She locks the door when she has to go get her mail.
Listen, when I'm if it's Saturday afternoon at 2:00, I'm in my bedroom. My security system's on.
Yeah, you do have that security system.
Yeah, I'm very anal about that.
You think someone's coming to get you?
I don't know what it is. Listen, there's a difference between things you can control and things you can't control. I fear the things I can't control. In business, a lot of times, if I do enough of the right things, I've learned that if I do enough of the right things, the things I can't control will hurt me and help me. But I have enough going on now where I'm like, okay, well, there might be some good things, might be some bad things. The other thing is, when it's usually bad for people is when it's good for me. So I have the best of both worlds in that sense. But in terms of life, yeah, I'm not locking my door when I go get the mail. But if I'm alone at home at 2:00 in the afternoon, I'm arming my system. Mm-hmm. So I'm a worrier too, but I use that to my advantage to prepare then and sit there and say, okay, there's these steps I have to do along the way. How do I make the worry less later? How stressful? How many last plays of the games were you involved with in your sports career?
Very few. I mean, that actually mattered.
Yes, yeah, that
very
matters.
few.
Like how many?
10.
Okay. If you guys had done a few things differently on the previous plays in the game, would you have had those 10 to worry about?
Say it again.
If you had done, let's say there was a game where it relied on your last play.
Of course not. Yeah.
Now those things are going to happen, but that's my whole theory behind the B to Y. If you sit there and take care of the very next play to the best of your ability, Jim Harbaugh says our goal is to win every 6 seconds. That's all our goal is. If you win the next 6 seconds and you win it enough times, you're going to win. Cavs, they came back from down 3-1 in the 2016 championship. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, they thought to themselves, our goal is win this quarter, win the next quarter.
Yeah.
Win this first game. Great. Win the second game. You can't win the 7th game until you've won game 5, right?
Yeah.
In that series. And that's the kind of thought process behind it. It's like we get so consumed so much in what's the end result as opposed to what do I need to do to get the end result. I get annoyed with those dreams that only focus on the end result. I remember when I was a kid, like hearing people, I remember in college, some guy saying like, oh, I'm going to be a U.S. congressman. I'm like, oh, and I remember being like, hey, he'll probably be a U.S. congressman. He wants to be a U.S. congressman. He will be a U.S. congressman. I don't know. I looked him up the other day. I can't find him anywhere on the internet, anywhere. When I say the other day, like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
You would think somebody whose ambition was to become a U.S. congressman would be doing something where at least I could Google it and say, oh, this guy must be doing something. Hell, he could be dead for all I know. I mean, he had a very unique name, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm like, where the hell is this guy?
Huh.
But I look at that going, I bought into wants equal ambition. And as long as you want enough, you'll get there. No, that's why I don't like The Secret. When people talk about The Secret, they talk about, oh, if you just think it to reality. Well, no. You have to think it and then do. You're not just going to get what you want.
There's a big movement nowadays, the doers.
Oh, is that a big movement?
I'm involved with Tim and Brian Kite.
Yeah.
And Focus 3.
I like their stuff.
They're incredible. And, they say we're in the business of action. We're in the business of doing, not talking. Because people misbrand them as motivational speakers, which I had to learn that they're not,
What are they?
They claim they're professional reminders. They teach.
Mary laughed at that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, they're professional reminders. That's a whole nother topic. But they teach simple skills that you can implement in your life, like right now, starting now, to change to change your future. And I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's very relatable the way you talk about action and doing. Gary Vee is a big action guy. Go do. You told me weeks ago, which I really liked. It was just like, we can only do one thing at a time. Just go do the next one.
Yep.
Sometimes I get overwhelming with all the editing work.
That's your biggest issue.
Yeah.
I think your biggest issue by me constructive criticism is you see all these things that need to be done and you want to start working them all at the same time.
Yeah.
Seth, the suggestion I was going to make to you was Mary's father always said, write down the 6 things you need to do the next day that you cannot finish the day without doing. Right, Mary? And do them. Imagine, and this is funny to me, If you just finish 6 things per day that you need to do, in a year, that'd be over 2,000 things. I guarantee you the average person doesn't even finish more than 200 things a year that they need to finish. If you finish 6 a day, and it's really not that hard, you will do amazing things. If you, Seth, just sat there and said, here's my list of six things I need to do today, and you just go, item number 1, but you have to train yourself, and it's going to be hard. You're not even going to think about 2 through 6, and you're not going to get interrupted. Do number 1. Great, it's done. Number 2. Great, it's done. Let me go take a break. Let me go have a Starbucks. And I'm not kidding, because you get so efficient at things. But I see you have Slack going. You have all these things going. It's hard.
Yeah.
The hardest part about all these communication things, I used to think it was wonderful to have all this communication. We get so much done. And it is wonderful as long as you know the right time and place. You and I have been in this podcast for how long? How long has this podcast been going on?
21.
Have you gotten messages on your phone? I'm sure you have. Have I gotten emails and messages? I'm sure I have. Did the world fall apart? You got to look at it the same way about getting things done. That's what I want to help you the most with. I don't say it as it's the same thing I did. 15 years ago, I worked 80 hours a week. Now I don't work 80 hours a week, but I get more stuff done. I just got better at getting things done.
Yeah.
5 years ago, I was happy to go to bed with less than 20 unread emails in my inbox. Now it's 3. Maybe 2 unread emails a day. Because I'll see an email and go, I'll answer it later. And you know, whenever I think that now, I have the ability now to sit there and say, just answer the email. Handle it. Why even leave it there?
Yeah.
Because what happens is we leave something that needs to be done today. I'm busy. Tomorrow, I'm busy. Third day, I'm busy. All you thought to yourself was, look how busy I am. I couldn't finish this. All being busy is, in my opinion, is delay. Procrastination. You've done the same thing. You've delayed the same thing over and over, so it makes you feel like that you're more busy than you actually are. If you just got it done, nothing to worry about. If you want something done, ask a busy person, right? That's it.
Yeah.
And we all have this issue, Seth. It's not just you. It's not just me. It's not just Mary. It's not just Tim. We all have this issue. The great thing is we have all the ability to be around each other, to realize what it takes. Most people don't have that ability. And most people just like hearing themselves talk. Look how busy I am. Look how busy I am. What are you up to? I'm just so busy. It's like, oh, okay. You're busy enough to tell me how busy you are. That sounds pretty good.
You say this all the time. We've trained ourselves that the only hardworking people in this world are the ones that don't sleep as much.
Yeah.
And who work 80 hours a week. And
yesterday at dinner, I was looking at my dad going, oh my God, I'm so tired. He's like, really? I'm like, oh, I want to sleep for like 12 hours. And I know he's looking at me going, this guy runs all I'm like, yeah, I love sleep. And if you sleep properly, you'll get more stuff done. The whole working 80 hours thing is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, you always say when someone tells you they work 80 hours a week, you're like, wow, you must be insanely inefficient.
Yes, it's exactly it. If you have to work 80 hours a week, for the pure fact, by the way, what they're probably doing is sitting behind a desk for 80 hours a week. They're not actually working 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
Because I'm quite sure that if you actually get 80 hours a week of work done, you're going to do very, very well.
Yeah, that's
You wouldn't
true.
be talking about how you're so busy. Do I ever talk about how busy I am?
Surprisingly, no.
Why is that surprising?
Because you have like all these businesses.
Exactly.
And the one that you have, I wouldn't even say with me, but one we're a part of, I have to remind myself that I see you constantly working on all the other stuff. Like I'm not the only one, you know.
It's a hard thing.
Most people's lives, they have one business to worry about,
Yep.
you know. And so.
But I have great people helping me. Timo, Mary, you. I mean, look at this thing. This is not possible without you.
Yeah.
Which is not possible without Tim. Not possible without Mary, because Mary, we were talking at breakfast this morning about how different we are from when she first started here 7 years ago, December of 2011. And we're totally different then because we just got things done. Mary's goal was, Mary, I need you to get to $200,000 a month in revenue on this property. That was literally the first goal. I remember when he hit that, I was just like, she remembers the first day I told her, you paid for yourself here. Very quickly, within like 3 or 4 months, Mary's salary was covered by her work. And now it's just grow.
What's step 1 to curing that if someone is struggling with getting things done?
Yeah, Tim's asking, what is step 1 for those of us like myself that struggle with getting things done?
The second you feel yourself saying, I'm busy or I have so much to do, you need to just immediately pick a task and finish it. Put everything away and finish it.
A lot of people aren't trained in this discipline.
It's hard. Because guess what? Getting something done is very, very difficult, especially when you can sit there and society will let you say, I'm busy, and revere you for it. Like, wow, they're very busy. That's impressive. It's like, shut up. You have a wife and 2 kids. Your house gets hectic. What you need to do, that technical glitch over here?
Yeah, keep going.
What you need to do is talk to your wife and say, Beth, I need to get some things done. I need an hour every day where I do not get interrupted at all. How do
Yeah.
we do that? And you know what she's going to say to you? Whatever you want, Seth, because she's the most enthusiastic person in the world and she loves you to death. She
Yeah.
will support you in that. And your kids will love it because then when they're at school, you're getting all the stuff done. That way when you come home at night, you can spend time with them.
Yeah.
You always say to me like, well, Paul, I got this time. I guarantee you, and I don't mean as a criticism of you. I just know that if I sat there and went through your life and your work together, we get amazing more efficiency out of you. Just like if I went to Tim's life and Mary's life and somebody went to my life and said, Paul, here's where you slack.
Mm-hmm.
We all slack. The question is who slacks the least? We're all slackers. Nobody works full 40 hours a week. And if anybody here is watching it and says they do, please delete this podcast. I don't want you listening to me anymore because you don't deserve it. Nobody works 40 hours a week. Nobody works 50 hours a week. We all deviate. The second we get off here, I'm probably going to open up Instagram and my email and all that stuff.
Grinder.
Grindr, for sure, Grindr. That was probably offensive.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, you do.
What are you trying to say?
Mary and I don't know what it is.
Okay.
We don't know.
Don't look it
Mary
up.
and Tim don't know.
We don't want it.
The first step is just, I loved Mary's dad's comment of, the night before, write down the 6 things you need to finish that day that you need to finish. Not one of those things like, I'd like to finish this. I cannot go to bed until these 6 things are done. You know what you're going to find out? You could probably get them all done in the first 2 or 3 hours of the day.
Yeah.
And you'll get so much more done in less time. It's 100% fact. I don't care what anybody's issue is. You can get it done. Look at Sergey, our buddy Sergey. Go ahead.
He edits our podcast.
He does
first
a phenomenal,
draft.
and he
Yeah.
does a phenomenal job doing that. Because I sat there and said, Seth, your job with us has changed. I want you being the talent here and editing the other things that we need done.
Yeah.
And even then, we'll figure out a more efficient way to do those too.
Yeah.
It's about being more efficient. 6 things done every single day. You will be floored how much stuff you get done. You'll almost be, when I go on, how often do I come, Mary, pay attention. Why are you looking at your phone?
She's on Grinder.
How often do I come to your office and say I'm bored? But why is that? Is it because I have nothing to do? It's because I'm a slacker. No, it's because she says I come to her office a lot and say I'm bored because I get my stuff done. And the other thing is I have good people helping me. But with 15 businesses going on, you'd think I'd never be bored. But I get bored because I get stuff done. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. Literally, the last week, I've not gone to bed with any unread emails. I know people who have one job and they go to bed with 10 unread emails.
Me.
You have more than one job, but
Yeah.
I bet you if you just handled your emails, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But 6 things a day. Mary requires it of all of our property managers. When Tim was a manager for us, he had his 6 things a day. No different.
Interesting.
It's awesome.
Wow, man, you're blowing my mind right now.
Am I?
Yeah. This is why we did all this, because people kept telling you should tell other people all about this.
Preach the word. And I'm sure this will change over time. My views have changed, but the getting things done will never change. That's one thing I know for an absolute fact will never change. It's all about getting things done. That's it.
Love it.
It's awesome.
Like and subscribe us on YouTube if you love our stuff. We'll have many more podcasts in the future. As always, Paul, I love hearing your thoughts on life, brother.
Thank you, Uncle Seth.
See you guys.
Peace.